Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack on TCG. Bancroft here with another Dragon Ball Super deck profile. The deck profile I am doing today is actually another swap deck. I know, swap, but I love swap a lot, and this is, of course, Goku Lineage Swap, not Frieza Swap, which is still a pretty good swap deck. But I am running it this time with the Broly Leader. So this is a little bit interesting. Normally, you swap either A or B. Kind of like turn 3, turn 4, you're awakening if you're using a basic leader, or if you're using what I prefer, the Shenron leader, you just awaken with Yellow Dragon Balls, which is hopefully turn 2. And then from that point on, you're just child wishing cards for free to the field to go from there. But in this deck, this is more of a full-on assault version of it. So, because the leader itself also self-awakens, and we obviously do play the Bardock, which self-awakens as well. But let's get into the leader. So it's auto. When this card attacks, you may choose up to one card from your life, add it to your hand. If you do, draw one card. So it's a great way of getting resources in your hand, and like I mentioned earlier, it also self-awakens. And once you, of course, your life is 4 less, you may choose to 2 of your energy, switch them to active, and put this card over. Once this card is flipped, he is super cool and pretty. It's all green. It is a yellow leader. You know, it's all green. But Broly, the awaken threat. Auto. When this card attacks, draw one card. Pretty simple. He has 2 activate mains, which I love. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode. Its second active main is choose one card from your life, add it to your hand, choose up to one of your cards in rest, switch it to active mode. So it allows a card to attack twice, which is pretty great. Besides that, that is it for the leader. Let's go and go to the actual deck itself now. So for me, it wouldn't be a swap deck if I didn't play 4 of my Successor of Hopes, which is your basic free cost card. All you gotta do is look up one Goku Lineage with energy cost 5 or less and swap from your deck and add it to your hand. So, and of course, then shuffle your deck afterwards. So it's just a good way of thinning the deck out, getting cards in your hand that you actually need to go for the swap combo. Now, for some reason, if you don't have our turn 1 swap card and you don't have a Successor of Hope, I do play 3 of the Fledgling Talent Pans. The reason why I play her is just because she's a great combo card, but her activate main is once per turn, choose one card from your hand, place it in the drop area, and draw an extra card. So it's just a way to trade on a card you don't necessarily need, or just trade on a card you have multiple of. Like if I had 2 Successor Hopes in my hand, I would use one of them. But of course, if I have Successor Hope, I'm playing my next card, which is my Bardock. So he is a 1-cost self-awakening card because when you play this card, choose one card in your life, add it to your hand. Please do not play this card if you have 1 life left. If you do, you're just killing yourself. But hopefully you go second. If not, you're fine. But if you go second, what you want to do is swing with this card. So boom, I attack with this card, 10,000 to your opponent. Most likely, your first attack, they're not going to do much to go over that. They're going to take the life because it's just your first attack to them. But once you do that, you use the swap effect. Bring this card back to your hand. And I bring out my dependable Dynasty Son Goku. Now, in earlier swaps before Shenron, I chose not to pick this card only because it didn't have barrier. I love the idea of having barrier and constantly having barrier. The reason why I chose this one instead this time is just because, like I mentioned earlier, this deck will swing, and it will swing hard and fast, and that's the point. So hopefully on turn 1, you attack for your leader, 10,000. You attack with Bardock, 10,000. You attack with this card, 15,000. That's 3 attacks that are very heavy. And if your opponent doesn't want to take those hits, they're going to have to combo over and wasting their resources. Now, if this happens to be turn 2, we play a swap 3 effect. So you tap 2 of our yellow energy to bring out our next card. Now, I do play 2 options. The first one, we'll get into it real quick, is the Ultimate Potential Super Saiyan 2 Son Gohan, which, when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards and KO it. So most likely, they've probably attacked him with a card before. You can chance to play this card out. And so this way, you play this card, and that card is gone. Of course, unless it has barrier, then it stays on the field, because barrier is awesome like that. But after you attack this card, kaboom! I attack. Now I swap. Bring this card back to my hand. I play another card. But before we get into that card, let's check out the other turn 3-cost card. We played the pretty cool new promo card, Son Goku Path to Greatness, who has barrier. It does have a swap to 8 feature, as long as I have Sparking 7. So what that is that with an energy cost of 8, I pay 4 energy, and I can bring out my nice big bad, and I'll go ahead and just throw it out there. Height of Mastery Goku, which is a pretty sweet card to bring out potentially on turn 4. But his honor, though, is that when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode, then I draw a card. So he also helps me get cards into my hand. It prevents my opponent from using certain battle cards as combos, or if they have a blocker, I can go ahead and just put that blocker into rest, so that way they can't stop my next attack. It's a pretty beautiful card. If I typically bring this out on turn 3, I'm not going to attack with him unless my leader's awakened, because I don't want my opponents potentially attacking this card, because this card becomes a huge threat. So, but that's my other 3-cost lineage cards. So, from that Gohan, we evolve the ultimate potential Gohan, not evolve, but we swap into the next version of Gohan, Discovery Dynasty Son Gohan, who has Swap 5, also Barrier, but his auto is that when you play this card with the swap feature, you draw 2 cards. So, once you attack with the 15,000 Gohan, you swap to this card, you draw 2 cards, and then you attack with a 20,000 Gohan. Not bad. Just another way of getting multiple attacks out there, getting new resources into your hand. I mean, we've been over this. I do swap all the time if I get the opportunity for it. So, once we attack with that card, if you can, use the swap feature. And then we swap into, I only play 2 of the Reborn Might Super Saiyan 4 Son Gokus. These is actually the only 5 cost cards I play. I only play 2 just because the Successor Hope helps me pull cards. And potentially, this is a turn 4 play. And it's either playing this or Height of Mastery. So I played 2 of this one, who does have a Swap 8 for 4 yellow energy, but his active main is the reason why I also pick him over the Apex Goku. Apex Goku also requires a Lineage Goku to get his auto off, but Apex does have Double Strike, which is not bad, but because I play both the Bardock and this particular Broly card, activate main. Once per turn, choose 1 card from your life, add it to your hand. Switch this card to active mode. If you have 2 or less life, this card gains triple strike, which is better in double strike. So potentially this card attacks twice, and his second attack is a triple strike. That is also why I picked this card over the other one. Now I will say this. If you do his effect and you have 2 life left, use Broly's secondary effect to restand this card to swing with another triple strike, which is amazing. So potentially he attacks 3 times, with 2 of his attacks being a triple strike. It's a beautiful card. If you're able to steamroll your opponent, you might not be able to get this card out, but if you hold off just long enough to get this card out, there's not much your opponent can do to stop this card. Now, I know I've talked about it. Let's go ahead and show it off. We play 3, because I don't have a 4th one for some reason. Height of Mastery Son Goku, but I feel like 3 is enough. I always see this card in our practice duels. Hopefully in our actual main duel I get this card as well in my hand, but we'll find out. So, it does have Deflect, so this card can't be counterplayed. So he comes on the field, you can't Cold Bloodlust it, pretty much. I know I had to pause, I just had to make sure Cold Bloodlust was a counter. Yeah, sorry, my brain sometimes forget things. But he has triple strike and dual attack. So, once again, if we get to the point where this card comes out to the field, potentially turn 4, you attack, triple strike, you attack, triple strike, Broly effect, stand back up, attack again, triple strike, which is pretty amazing. His auto is also where it comes in play as well. When you play this card with Swap, choose up to a total of 3 of your opponent's battle cards or energy, ignoring barrier, and switch them to rest mode. So this is a good way of getting rid of your opponent's energy, so that way they can't use things to negate or to combo through. So, pretty nice card. I mean, that's all I can say about it. It's a nice card. It's one of my favorite cards, actually, in this whole game. Now, since we're back to using a yellow leader, which is amazing, I'm no longer using Shinron with the Temporal Rescue Trunks. I'm actually using my Shigesh combo card, which I love. So Shigesh is different than most combos because Shigesh you don't draw on when you combo with him. Instead, you can choose up to a 1 Saiyan from your hand, energy cost 3 or less, and play it. So ideally, what you want to do with him is either A, combo Shigesh, drop Gohan. Gohan KOs a card in rest mode. Pretty sweet. Or you drop, of course, that Goku. So if it's your turn 3 is over with, your opponent's now attacking, you combo Shigesh, you drop him. Your next turn's turn 4, play a 4th energy, and then you bring out Mastery. There you go. It's a beautiful combo. I love it so much. We do have a few protections. I only play 2 of the Masaroshi's Forged of Will. Yeah, the eye just looks weird. I was like, that's 3 L's. No. So he is a counterattack. So it's 1 energy. I play this card to the field, negates my opponent's attack, which is pretty nice. I play 2 of these because it wouldn't be a yellow deck if I didn't play 4 of the Flying Nimbuses. Now, I choose Flying Nimbus over Time Magic only because it's if your opponent's able to get multiple cards on you, Flying Nimbus will prevent them from doing more than 3 attacks, potentially. If they're smart and they know they're facing against a yellow deck, they won't attack their leader first because the chance of getting Flying Nimbus. Now, I know Time Magic has the ability to leaving cards in rest mode, so your opponents can't untap them. Untap them. I just always like Flying Nimbus, and that's why I've always kept it this way. It does take an extra resource to use Flying Nimbus, is true effect. So when you negate the attack, then you may place 1 yellow card from in your hand to the drop area. If you do, your opponent can only attack with 1 more battle card for the duration of the turn. That's how they can only do 3 attacks instead of if they have an army, how they can't do an army attack now. So, now, some of these powerful cards like the Height of Mastery or the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, they can still be countered. They can be negated. That's why we play 3 Battering Lasers. It's just a counter. You place 1 yellow card from your hand into the drop zone, negate the counter. So you got to pay the 1 cost, and then you got to get rid of another card from your hand just to do it. But then your attack's going through. Hopefully you get one of the triple strikes out of the way. Your opponent has to combo to save their butt, or you're going to attack them again, hopefully, if played right. Now, because Broly, in this case, which I was actually surprised to find out, if you look at Broly's information at the bottom, he's a Frieza's army, which means I actually chose to play 3 of the Cold Bloodlust. If your leader card is Frieza's army, the battle card play has its skills negated for the duration of turn. Now, the reason why I chose to do 3 is only because there's more cards coming out now that have effects to ignore barrier, and there's more cards able to just pop cards quicker. So having an extra Cold Bloodlust, so instead of doing 2, I did 3, just to help that extra protection, make sure I have 1 in my hand at all times, and hopefully during our real duel, I have a Cold Bloodlust. I know in the practice duels, I barely saw it, so I'm hoping that I can showcase this deck the way it should be showcased. So that's all my yellow cards. I do play 1 more card. And when you see it, you're going to kind of go, okay, that's kind of weird to play that card because it is an Overwhelm card. And earlier, I mentioned that I played this Greatness, which requires Sparking. But that's typically a turn 4 play, unless I could pull this card off. And I know I'm going to win. So Overwhelm 7, you just remove your entire drop zone, put it into Warp. You pay 1 energy for this. But he comes out of the field with Double Strike, and you get to draw 2 cards. So it's a nice resource grab. It's a nice attack card. Ultimately, if it's turn 4, I'm doing this play, and for some reason I haven't awakened yet, that's our scenario. Path of Greatness, pay 4 energy, get rid of him, bring out Mastery. Then, after that, I awaken Leader, because for some reason if I'm not awakened by this point, that's kind of weird. Then, I can use Fu's ability by removing my drop zone, bring him out. Now I have Height of Mastery, I have Fu, I have my Leader. Hopefully by that point, your opponent's like, well, crap, that's game probably. So, that is pretty much a rundown of my new swap deck. Building it was fun. It was exciting. I will say, I think I'm still more of a fan of my Shinron one, but this is still a pretty good make of a deck, just because of the complete aggro it could do with its abilities and its leader effect. We can potentially on turn 2 if you play everything right, which is amazing. Turn 1, Bardock. Bring Bardock back to your hand. Turn 2, Bardock. Swing if you're leader. Then swap Bardock out. Bardock back to the field.
It feels like Mini Storm playing against it.
Yeah, which is amazing. So, if you want that Storm feel, give this deck a try. Like always, put in the comments down below what you want us to make. We'll do any deck profile. Hopefully, we have the cards for it. Now, we typically order the cards. It may take us a little bit longer to get the cards if we don't have them right away. And once again, we don't try to do the typical meta. Granted, I saw someone playing a Broly swap, and I was like, holy crap, I didn't think about that. That's why I had to make it real quick. I still prefer the Shinron one, like I mentioned earlier. This is still a good play for if you want that swap feeling, that storm feeling. But, like always, hit the subscribe and like button, and let us know what you want to see. Until next time, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, What do you all want to see out of set 6? What are
Destroyer Kings, yep.
Yeah. What do you want to see out of it? What would you like to see us profile first in that?
Yeah, definitely. If you have a deck profile that you like, I wonder how that's going to work. How's that literally going to work out? Can this make sense? Can you combine this with that? Let us know. We'll make it happen to the best of our abilities. And until next time, thanks for tuning in. Like always,
Fluff out.